So you don't think I could come to an NFL franchise and change the program?
Sanders, end zone, caught!
If that's not what you're trying to do, don't give me.
Oh, he hit him with the sauce. Touchdown!
I'm the most guaranteed person you can take.
The NFL draft is the day after tomorrow, and the Browns have the shortest odds to draft Shedeur Sanders, plus 250. Wouldn't be, you would think, number 2 overall, because Sanders just 4-1 to be drafted inside the top 5. You got shorter odds to be a top 10 pick, down to almost 3-1 to be the second QB off the board Thursday. So that tells me a chance that Browns may trade up and get the Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders double. Joe Fortenbaugh, Phil Murphy, and with all due respect to Mike Clay, our favorite male modeler, Seth Walder. Seth, Sanders has a wide range of outcomes in this draft. The extremes, second overall to second round. His draft position prop, 8.5, with the Saints picking at 9. What do you think happens here?
Yeah, this is the mystery of the draft, and it is a hard one to read the tea leaves for. From our model, we're pretty close to the market here, so that still leaves a lot of mystery. One spot where we do show a little bit of value is for Sanders to go precisely at pick 9, plus 350. We make it plus 270. He probably gets to 9 based on the odds that we see now as over-under, and of course the Saints are a logical spot for him to go. So I do think that there is a chance that Sanders goes 9, but I will say I think I'm least confident in this of all the bets we're going to talk about today.
And the interest really peaked in that with the news of Carr's shoulder injury as well. You may not have a quarterback healthy for the beginning of this year, Joe.
I would like to see someone post a prop on Sanders not being drafted in the first round. I'd find that interesting. We can dive into something like that. Seth, real quick on that. Do you have any thoughts onto the idea of Sanders sliding out of the first round entirely?
You know, it's interesting because our model is based on mock drafts. So it usually, if there's some movement in the last day, which is what we're talking about here, it's not quite reflected in the model. Right now, we show his floor as basically being 21, but I do think, to your point, there's probably been some movement since then.
It takes one team to go after him, though. I don't see him getting past 32.
I'm being told in my ear that there is a prop, in fact, and not so much in my ear as I should have been prepared for this earlier. Classic Fortenbaugh, 4-1 that he goes to the second round, 4-1.
Not touching it.
I'm going to need a little bit higher, but I think that could be the big story comes Friday morning. Phil, don't be so dismissive. Indulge it for a moment. Ease your way into the hot tub around here. All right, back to the business at hand. Seth, Ashton Jeanty. All the way up until this week, it looked like 6 to the Raiders was the ceiling. And then all of a sudden, there was the talk of Jacksonville 5, a potential trade-up, New England at 4. What does the data say about Ashton Jeanty? Because that over-under is 6.5.
Yeah. Buzz here a little bit. We make the over-under 6.5 too, basically, but we have it as pretty much a coin flip there. You can get plus 230 on the over, and so if I'm choosing, I'm taking that over side. To me, I like the fact that we're getting basically the positional value argument on our side here, right? When you draft Jeanty at 4, 5, 6, you're paying him a lot of money for a running back. That's not true at other positions. Running backs are easy to replace in free agency. You can't say the same for offensive tackle. I think that could push him down to the latter half of the top 10, but we do think he goes top 10.
Good point. He has the quote of the pre-draft process, though, does Jeanty. For me, that helps his draft value. It's tackle football, he said. You know what I'm saying? I draft the guy they can't tackle. That alone, for me, minus 400, even with all that, those long odds or short odds. Seth, give us a fun, long shot that has great value come Thursday.
I love this one. It's going to come quick. Mason Graham to go number 4 overall. So you talked about earlier in the show, everybody's been mocking Mason Graham number 5 to the Jaguars. He doesn't make sense necessarily for the Patriots because that's one area that isn't a need for them. But if he can go 5, he can go 4 in terms of quality. And there's nothing in the prop that says it has to be the Patriots drafting him at 4. They're a logical trade down candidate. Someone could see the Jaguars want to jump them for Graham, who's probably the best player available at 4. And you're telling me 28-1? Only a 4% chance makes this worthwhile. I love this bet. maybe my favorite one of the whole draft.
New England has become a very intriguing talking point over the last 2 days. Who's the LSU offensive tackle? Will Campbell?
Will Campbell.
Is that his name?
33-inch arms, right? That's the knock against him.
So Campbell, slotted 4, was minus 900 to go 4 to the Patriots yesterday. That's down to around minus 350, minus 400. It's been cut in half on the speculation that New England might have something up their sleeve.
Well, the Patriots spent so much in free agency. Now they have the luxury of flexibility if they don't love the pick or get extra value from trading back.
Yeah. All right, you wanted a long shot from Seth. Seth, I would like something that I could sweat all night long. My cardiologist is too happy with how my heart is. Let's work it up a little bit. What's something that could take all night to cash?
Okay, let's go with the defensive line or edge rusher prop. The line is 8.5, over/under selected in the first round. I'm going to go under, take plus money, under 8.5. This one's not going to settle till the very end. So yeah, you're going to be sweating it. There's like 6 guys I would call locks or near locks. I would call James Pierce probably a long shot-ish, could be drafted in the first round, but I think this hinges on 3 players. Donovan Ezeraku, Walter Nolan, Kenneth Grant. If all 3 of those guys go in the first round, we lose this bet. But, and let me say this, all 3 individually, I would probably bet to be a first round pick, but these are not individual bets. We have to simulate out the whole draft. It's a multi-conditional problem, and when we do that, we find that more often than not, the under hits on this because just one of those guys needs to slip out of the first round. And so we like the under where you're getting plus 160.
Very important note on this based on that graphic we just threw up. Jalen Walker, the pass rusher from Georgia, is going to be classified as a linebacker on draft day, not an edge rusher, not a defensive lineman. He'll be classified as a linebacker. He would not count towards the over on this. So Seth going with the under. Jalen Walker is of no consideration there. That is important this time of year to understand classifications.
And if you go with that play, you're hoping that somebody tries to jump in the back in the first round, get a Tyler Shook or Jackson Dart if he's available, just chew up some of those remaining spots. Seth Walter, thanks so much for your time, brother. Enjoy draft week.